I don't do shampoo or anything. I do rice water. And then, but it's, you know what I think it is, Matt? It is, I'm not saying that's the case, but I do believe that mentally it does affect you and it depresses you, and your immune system suffers when you're depressed because you're so worried and stressed and scared. So for me, the way I tackled it is like, fuck that. I don't have cancer. I have cancer cells, but cancer doesn't have me. Um, and yeah, I get moments that I was depressed, but I feel myself very blessed. But I do feel that it plays with your mind, really, like, because, and I do think that that affects your immune system more, and maybe even the
Yeah.
outlook.
Oh, of course it does. I mean, it's a well-known fact, right? There's tons of issues that are psychosomatic where it turns out there was nothing actually wrong with you, but you just thought there
Yeah,
was. Having a positive mindset is like massively, massively important.
yeah,
And you've also got to be positive, haven't you? Because it's 2024. Like, you just
yeah,
have to look at the numbers from survival rates and the actuary tables and stuff. If you got stuff like this in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s, you were probably knackered. So every cloud has a silver lining. You've just got
oh
to look at the
yeah,
bright side and be like, I do remember I read a piece all about it on the BBC because my mum died of breast cancer in like 89, I think it was. And they said like
yeah.
in the 80s, it was like the dark ages treatment in the UK. Because they caught it so early, what happened with my mum, they caught it so early that they said, oh, you don't need any aftercare. So they literally just chopped her breast off. I remember being a little kid. I told you one of my earliest memories. I guess it happened when I was about 4 or 5. I remember playing with it on the bedroom floor, like throwing it at my brother like a football, with a little rubber faulty that you put in your bra. And I remember that like very vividly. And she didn't get any after treatment because they said, "Oh, you found it super early." And then 3 years later, they were like, "Oh yeah, you're riddled with it." So
So
it's one of them things, isn't
they
it?
didn't give her any follow up,
No, none. She just got the mastectomy, chopped her breast off, and then that was it. Sent her home.
oh, it's a mistake.
And then a few years later, yeah, she was knackered. And that's the way it is. You've always got to be bright. Look on the bright side. I think being in the military helps me because I've always said that. Like, I feel lucky. Like, if I could drop down dead of a brain hemorrhage right now, I wouldn't feel hard done by. Like, you see, when you've seen teenagers get cut down in the prime, when a 19-year-old lad doesn't come home from Iraq, you
Yeah.
can't feel sorry for yourself when you're getting fat and bald like me and you go, oh no, I'm 45 and I'm ill. It's like you get what you get, don't you? And you've got to be thankful for every moment you get. And if you're really lucky, you get out of your teens and you get through your 20s and your 30s. And if you're really, really lucky, you get into your 90s. But guess what? The vast majority of people don't. So you've got to have a spring in your step and just think, I'm thankful that I'm 45. I'll take that if I
I'm
ever
gonna be 56 and November
you know,
16th,
yeah.
16, I'm okay with that, and I consider myself lucky because when I go for treatments, there are people who have it really bad,
Oh, I
like,
bet. I bet it's depressing
so
going
for
there.
me, I even feel guilty because I feel guilty and embarrassed because they're going through really, really rough stuff, and I got my treatments. I'm not bitching about it, or anything. I feel myself very, very lucky, and
There's even kids,
I
isn't
always
there?
think that there's somebody
Really?
worse off than me, so I shouldn't be bitching, and I just be thankful for what I have and my lot in life, and deal with it, deal with what I have, just walk it off.
I'm saying that's the irony. If you have that attitude and you go, I'm doing all right, you'll probably be better off because it'll be better
Yeah.
for your health.
Oh no,
You
I
just
always do, like I always, yeah. Since we were kids, my grandpa he used to say, you're complaining, you have horses, you have mates, and this and that, and you're bitching about this. Let me tell you where poverty is. And then one day, remember, he left us for a week there, and I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. It's like, oh my God, these people really have it hard, And I would go sell tortillas with a girl who was like 7 or 8 years old, and we were making tortillas in her little thing, and then I would go sell them. For me, it was an adventure. For her, was her way of life.
Yeah. I was laughing today on about people like, not looking on the bright side. I was laughing today on the BBC. There was a story about a load of, it says, tired of racism, Black Americans are seeking to return to Africa. And I was like, yeah, they'll be there a week. They'll be there a week. They'll go, what is this dust bowl? I'm going back to Georgia. Like, I can't believe how people are indoctrinated to be so ignorant about the rest of the world. You know, like we're talking about, like it doesn't matter what situation you're in. I can always think of a bright side, no matter how bad it is. I was like that when I was in Afghanistan in some dust bowl. I go, it could be worse. No matter how bad it got, I'd be like, oh, could be worse. Couldn't have any water. You know, like there's a very low bar you can go down to. And these fucking lunatics, honestly, from living here like about 10 years now, I think they're actually privileged above white guys. Me.
Yeah.
I think the American government is so guilty about the past that the privileged minorities, I think it's the same in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, it's blatantly obvious. There was a video this morning I seen of a kid who was swearing at a Palestine protester, and he was a white lad, and the coppers swarm all over him, stick his arm up behind his back and cart him off like for swearing at them, and then it shows it in reverse, and it's a black woman proper aggressively going at some white guy, and the coppers are just like, come along now, you can't talk like that, just let her leave. Like, I think the it's not just a lie that the mainstream are telling everyone now. Yeah. I think it's the exact opposite of the truth. And these people who are privileged enough, like for example, I'm more likely to get shot by a traffic cop in America than a black guy is. Because if a traffic cop shoots me, he knows he's going to
the guy who shot up people, the black guy who shot people in Halloween in the States.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the news because he's black. If it were a white person who shot it, it'll be all over the news. That's a fact.
So what I'm getting at is they don't even realize the privilege. They love going, oh, when you're privileged, it feels like normal. It's like, yeah, you say that about me. You want to be looking in the mirror, lads, because when they get to East Africa, they're going to be like, oh, hell no. To quote them, that's how they're talking to the Americans. Oh, hell no. They'll be on the first train back to Atlanta or Georgia or wherever they live. They'll be on that faster than you can say, see ya. And these maniacs, apparently now there's a movement in the United States of black people who want to repatriate back to Ireland. You couldn't make it up, could you?
I just want to say, Jason Lee, thanks for sending the Angry Bootneck at 19 pounds for a booze. Yay.
19. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize I could do that until last time I seen you, that you can share it with your own audience as well. You just click it on the top right-hand corner. Yeah. So Marla will be watching as well. Marla will be watching us shooting the shit.
Yeah, there was a shootout. He killed 8 people. This black guy, there's all over the news, Claudia. I want to talk about, before we get into I want to talk 2 topics that I want to talk to you. I don't know if you saw the Radio Times that they exposed Charles's tax things. Well, apparently, yeah, the thing is that they're dragging Prince William with it, and Prince William has only had the Duchy of Cornwall for about 18 months. You know,
so where are you as we stand? Do you like Prince William and dislike King Charles, or where are you at on the royals at this point? Because I think we've both evolved, haven't we? Yeah, I went from being a reluctant royalist to genuinely disliking them, and you were like, I don't even know.
No, I'm giving Prince William the benefit of the doubt. However, it's getting harder with the choices he's made. For example, he chose that chef Jose, who is friends with the guy who tried to shoot Trump. They were the second one, the guy who didn't really get him, and they were together in Ukraine. Chef Jose and that guy were photographed in Ukraine, both of them. I don't understand why he made him ambassador of Earthshot Prize. Of all the chefs in the world, why choose the same one who's aligned with his brother, who's now talking to NATO?
Yeah.
And Prince, I don't know. And this is the thing. It's actually correlated. But the thing with me is, I don't have a problem the royal family doing business. I don't have a problem. The problem I have with is that people are now they're trying to dirty William's image by saying that the Duchy of Cornwall somehow he's been doing this. Actually, the one who had it for 50 years was Charles, and now he has the Duchy of Lancashire, and he's got the same problems because he's the same person managing it. So William has had it for 18 months, and he's done amazing things for the homeless. Things. I don't have a problem with them having a business. The problem I have is the tax thing, because number one, as commercial private enterprises, they don't pay capital gains tax, and they don't pay corporate taxes, and they don't pay inheritance taxes. And the taxes that they do declare, they pick and choose which ones they do. If we could all do that, I mean, that'd be great. If we don't pay our taxes according to the laws, we go to jail.
Oh, they get you by the balls. They've
No,
got
but
Al
the
Capone on
thing
that.
that I have a problem with is that unfair advantage that they have, that they don't pay corporate taxes or capital gains taxes. I do
I'll,
not
t-
like
I'll tell you how bad it is for normal people, right? I swear to God, I'm not making this up. So at SpaceX, when they work the arse off you, and Elon's clever, that's why he's got so much done. So what he does is he sets up share programs that vest twice a year. And if you don't stay till that date, you don't get the money. So like when I started, he said, "Oh, I'll tell you what, you can have this amount of money." It was like 25 grand or something. It was a big bonus. And it was like, but it only gets paid out in November the 17th or whatever. So it's like the middle of November is when the money vests. So I've been working my ass off for like a year and a half, looking at the carrot, you know. Last month, the state of California sent me a tax bill and I haven't even got the money. They just went, "Oh, we heard a rumor that you're getting some money next month. Give us 15 grand. No shit. Like they're taking half my money because they've heard a rumor that I'm getting some money next month. So I got this bill and I was like, what? I haven't even got the money. So now I'm broke because I have to like dig into all my savings to find this lump of cash because I don't get the money until next month. And I was like, that's how it is for normal people. They don't just take your shit. They take your shit if they hear the rumor that you're going to get some shit in the future.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to do with this advanced capital gains tax for the normal people, where they want to tax unrealized gains. They want to take money off you that you haven't even got.
Yeah.
But these wankers just do whatever they like. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick of the one rule for us and
No,
one
that's
rule for
the
you.
thing that really bothers me. I don't mind that they're charging the NHS $11 million for a warehouse, million pounds for a warehouse, while claiming. I don't mind that, but that was Charles who did it. What I mind is that this is how they actually became incredibly wealthy, the royal family, because 100 years ago they were barely scraping by, but because they don't pay any taxes up until 1993, they were not paying any taxes. They don't pay inheritance taxes. A lot of people, when they inherit something, sometimes you even have to sell the thing because you don't have enough money to pay the taxes, that you just inherited.
That's what I mean. It's shocking. And the inheritance tax, if you read about that in the UK, that's really, really unfair because some of these people, it's the same old shit like these socialist thieving scumbags. They hear that you're going to get a bonus or you've made some money in shares, but it's not even that much money. It's not even six figures. And you haven't even got the money or you haven't sold your shares and made any money, but they still want money off you. And there's old ladies in London who, because they've lived in London for 85 years, their little shitty terraced house is on paper worth £1 million, but they haven't got any money. They're scraping by on the pension and they can barely pay the council tax and the bills. They haven't got any money. And the government will go, "Oh, you've got a lot of property. You have to give us some money." They haven't got any money.
Well, yeah, and they don't pay property taxes either because you have to pay a yearly property taxes, and the royal family own a lot of property, yet they don't pay any property taxes, no corporate taxes, no capital gain taxes, no inheritance taxes, and they pick and choose how much they're gonna declare. So people should feel lucky if they pay any taxes at all. And on top of that, they do write off. They do submit things for write-offs.
Unbelievable. Oh, yeah, we can segue into this. This is good. We can do a nice segue because this is a related story from last week. Did you see this? Right? How do I share a screen here? Hang on.
I am doing it already.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. There was a bloke last week. There was a kid in Newcastle, a black kid, who murdered a young lad and he did a year in prison for it. A year because they needed his cell. This guy, a fat lunatic who's mentally ill, who twatted Paul Pelosi once with a hammer, and he's totally fine. There's nothing the matter with him. 30 years without the possibility of parole. So, literally, because he's Pelosi's husband, there's one rule for you and one for everybody else. You remember when the guy twatted Paul Pelosi?
Yeah, but wait a minute. They said that he could have been his lover. I think that they're keeping him in jail so he doesn't speak.
Look at that. The man who was sentenced to 30 years for attacking Paul Pelosi has now been told it's a life term without the possibility of parole. So if a bloke goes down the street in New York with a samurai sword and kills about 11 people, he'll probably get out in about 15 years. But if you turn up in Pelosi's house and he's got his underpants on and you twat him with an hammer, I mean, in my view, he didn't hit the fucker hard enough. But he twatted him with an hammer, and there's nothing the matter with him now. He's not even in hospital or anything.
I think it was
This
a
guy's
couple
not
of
even getting
lovers.
parole.
I think it was a lovers' quarrel who went wrong, and I think they're putting him in jail for a long time. So he doesn't talk, you know. And talking
It's
about that, I just
unbelievable.
want to ask you something. Why is Prince Harry talking to NATO for Invictus Games? You are a military man. Can you tell me that?
I don't understand. I don't understand what it's got to do with Prince Harry. Like, why is NATO got
He's
to get
asking
involved?
NATO for funds for Invictus.
Well, I'm assuming his argument is going to be that Invictus is open to servicemen from loads, like every country or something. So he's going to be trying to fleece them and say, "Come on, it's for the mental health of all NATO soldiers."
Yeah, but this
Like,
is
you
a
guys should
private
pitch in."
organization. It's not a military organization. The UK military disassociated themselves from when he went on his own. This is pretty much a private foundation. This is not a government foundation.
It's just,
And I
like I
wanted to ask
said,
you because
that
I know
little
what
twat can
NATO
do
is.
whatever he wants, can't he?
NATO doesn't allow private organizations. They don't ask for funds from private organizations. So I don't know if Harry's trying to align Invictus, which is a big, in my humble opinion, a fraudulent thing when he just got 27 million pounds from the government to have Invictus in Birmingham, like that is completely bankrupt. And now
Birmingham.
he was in the NATO thing right now that he talked to NATO in the United States with a pre-recorded message because nobody knows where he is. He's been AWOL for about a month and a half. And then there's pictures that resurface of him when he went to London and he's with NATO people.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Joke. I mean, just to make
I
a light
mean,
of it, like I always do.
I am seriously asking you because I don't get it.
Well, NATO is a massive organization, right? With like about, I don't know, 80 or 90 countries in it or something ridiculous. So obviously he's going to be saying we can help soldiers from all different nationalities. So you guys should send us some money. But it's just because he's a greedy, tight-fisted, thieving little shitbag. That's the main reason.
Well,
But that's
Canada
going to be
gave
the
him $30
flimsy
million.
excuse.
Canada gave him $30 million for Invictus next year.
Yeah. Oh, he's a horrible little rat, isn't he? He's just obsessed with money.
I was just
And
curious, and I thought I asked you because I don't understand NATO. Why NATO? Because NATO is a group of nations to defend each other. It has nothing to do with veterans.
yeah. No, it does though, doesn't it? Because that's the thing. NATO, right? The short version of NATO is it's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Yeah, but every country has the military handles their NATO veteran affairs department.
Yeah, but what I'm assuming is because that's like dozens of countries, he's going to say what we'll do is we'll open Invictus Games because it started out to just be the Anglo countries, isn't it? Because we're like closely related. I'm pretty sure it started out was just British military, and then it became American.
That was the UK.
American
that was in the UK when the Royal Foundation, which is the organization that created it, was with the UK military. When Harry took off to the United States, it's not the UK anymore. It's pretty much in the States, Canadian, anybody can participate. But there was a veteran who participated last year or this year. He was in a wheelchair and he fell back and he fractured his back even more. And it's really painful. And he's and he thought that the army was going to cover his medical expenses. And it turns out they didn't. And Invictus didn't either. And these people pay their own way. These are veterans, and he had to pay for everything. So I thought I'd ask you because NATO doesn't meddle with this. And you have Veterans Affairs. There are other organizations that they apply directly to the government, not to NATO. Do you think he's trying to align himself with NATO, like to make that a part of NATO?
Yeah, I would think that's the plan. And and it's a flimsy excuse to get more money, isn't it? You say you open it up for everybody else, all NATO members rather than just British and American and Canadian military will be the plan. The amusing thing to me is that he's paid to do it in Birmingham because I'll tell you what, this is a true story as well. As when British military get injured, they don't get to go to a Gucci Veterans Affairs hospital like they do in America. In America, they have VA hospitals all across the country. In Britain, we've got NOUT. So they used to take you to a bog standard NHS hospital, a big one like Selly Oak, it was called. It was a massive hospital, but normal members of the public were in there. And I had a mate who was in Selly Oak after he got shot about 6 times in his lower body in Afghanistan. And he said to me, while he was in there, he was getting harassed by a mob of angry regulars at Allen's snack bar because Birmingham's like 60% those chaps this day and age. So when you get sent there in an hospital when you've been injured, you're getting accosted by the people that you were fighting, basically. The people who send all of the money and support the Taliban and Al-Qaeda are accosting you when you're in the hospital in England. So that's laugh out loud funny to me. It's like, oh, I know where we'll do it, Birmingham. If I went to Birmingham after finishing the tour of Afghanistan, I'd get PTSD from seeing the bastards in the crowd. So doing it in Birmingham is the worst idea ever. That's unbelievable.
And the thing is that the government didn't have money to help Birmingham with the bare minimum of social work. They have to shut down the streets, the lights and the streets because they don't have enough money for electricity after hours. They don't have enough money to fix the roads, and they don't have enough money for policing, extra hour policing at night. So the police is going to be less police in the streets. So basically it's going to be dark, dirty, and
full of people that donated money to Al Qaeda.
So it's actually I was shocked because when I saw that he's getting 27 million and then he was smooching with the veterans things because the Minister of Veterans Affairs was with him at Dusseldorf having beer during Harry's birthday, and I'm like, why is this guy linked to the government? Is it because of his royal title or what? Because you don't see any other organizations like that, like hitting the military or the government for undisclosed amount of money, like 27 million pounds. It's $35 million, guys.
It's unbelievable. I told you, I've had it with Harry. I hate him. He's just a little rat. The weird thing I don't understand about the rich and the powerful is how come they've never got enough money? Like all my working life, I've been sort of looking at my stock portfolio and my 401k, thinking if I can just get it up to I don't know, picking a number. If I can get it to $500,000, I can retire. I can retire if I get it. This lot are worth tens of millions and that, and they're like, oh yeah, if I just get another 100 million. Why is he obsessed with money? It's not like he's living in his castle in Montecito and he can't pay the mortgage. He probably hasn't even got a mortgage, right? If you're as rich as him, he probably hasn't even got.
Well, he has a mortgage, but I believe that Charles is paying for it. He's cutting Andrew finally, but it's stupid because if he cuts off Andrew's gonna go back to selling access to the crown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's looking a hell of a lot more than the $1.5 million he gets from Charles.
I told you the good thing about him living just up the road from me is when we have inclement weather events or risk of tsunami or bushfires or something. It's like a silver lining for me. I'm like, at least if I lose my house, there's a possibility while I'm sat on the roof waiting for an emergency helicopter, that little ginger twat will come washing down the street in front of me. So there's a silver lining to every major incident out here. That's I told you, he only lives up the road from me. It's literally
No, you told me you should take a picture, send it to me. You should video and send it to me. Yeah. But I was thinking about this thing with the taxes that broke this morning because I don't have a problem them being commercials and stuff like that. But I do have a problem with all the tax breaks because that's how they've made their money, not paying taxes. Because anybody, if you don't pay any taxes on the capital gains like by selling assets or whatever, or you don't pay taxes on whatever, you already have a huge advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's
the
taxes have been in my life.
People say that they've saved hundreds of millions of dollars, which I believe.
Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable. Taxes are the bane of your life, innit? I mean, I've always been annoyed at how much they tax normal people. When I was in Games Workshop, I got a tiny little bonus. It wasn't even $5,000. I got a bonus of about 4.5k or something, and the taxman took half off me. And by the time I got the taxes done, it was about 2,300 or something. And I just thought, why? When I'm on a flat, I think my salary at the time was only 30 grand a year. So you're making 30 grand a year, you get a $5,000 bonus. You've still only made 35 grand that year, but they take half off you. And I'm like, how does a bloke who's making tens of millions a year not pay taxes or pay 5% tax or 4% tax? But if you're a bricklayer or a plumber and you make 50 grand a year, you pay half. It's like...
Oh, have you voted? Matt?
I have voted, yeah. I
Who did
voted,
you vote
obviously.
for, Kamala?
No. I voted for Trump. My missus
Oh,
wouldn't vote for
is
Trump.
it-
She wrote someone in.
well, she wrote
Uh,
someone that they won't allow
yeah.
that.
But she did go all the way down the ticket on everything else and do Republican. But she refuses to vote for Trump because she's a Californian woman and she's drank the Kool-Aid. We've had many arguments about Trump being her, but she won't have it. I was like, they're just brainwashing you. Like, it's unbelievable how biased the media is. They've been literally calling him a full-blown Nazi for the last 2 weeks. They
He
were
seems to
saying
be
this
doing
rally
well.
in Madison Square Garden. Oh,
He
yeah, but
seems
I've
to be
told you
doing
this.
well, Matt. He seems to be doing well. He seems to be winning most of the swing states.
He does, but it's irrelevant, isn't it? We've argued about this, Paula. We've done this one.
Okay,
He's got every advantage.
We'll have
He's
a
got.
bet. Let's have
He's
a bet, buddy. I think that Trump will win. And what I think will happen is the following, because the Democrats are saying that they're going to refuse to accept the win, right?
Of course they are. Of course
And
they
that
are.
they're
Yeah.
going to sue him for that. That's going to look very bad on them and all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, you know, the person who certifies the election is already saying that he's not going to certify, which is going to send the United States of America into civil war. People, they're so stupid. You know, they're so stupid with them doing that. I don't know why they do that. And if Trump were to do
Never.
that, and Trump said, "I don't think this is happening," I don't like the bias of it. Like, they can do it, but you can't do it. Al Gore took Bush to court and all the way to the Supreme Court because he didn't agree with the work thing, you know?
The hypocrisy is unbelievable. And this is what I'm saying. This is why I've got so angry about it. It's the hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is a unique emotion. It invokes something in humans that makes us more angry than anything else. Like, a lie isn't as bad as a hypocritical lie. Like, it's hypocrisy that people are bought. And they've been doing forever. Everything they accuse everybody else of, that's what they do. And that's why I keep telling you, like, I'm not a natural Republican I'm not religious. I'm socially liberal. I'm pro-LGBT. I'm not a natural Republican, but I'm definitely a Republican now because the alternative is just this mind-melting, despicable hypocrisy. And think about it, if you really think about this whole election denial thing, which they've said about Trump for the last 4 years, the only person that's actually aggressively denied an election is on the Democrat side of things, because when Gore lost to Bush, he did a lawsuit, and Michael Moore made a movie about it, saying it was they were denying the election. And then when Obama won, the only people who were saying it wasn't a real president was like a tiny fringe of Republican supporters, not like serious Republican congressmen. They didn't launch a lawsuit saying he's not a real president because he was born in Kenya. There was just a bit of gossip. So even on those two, the only real election denying was done by the Democrats. And then fast forward to 2016, Clinton goes on telly and says, he knows he's illegitimate. He knows. Republican, that's her words. That was even my Hillary impression. He knows he's illegitimate. The Republicans, it was the Russia scandal, using the intelligence agencies, paying Christopher Steele, using foreign intelligence agencies, all the stuff they accuse everybody of they were doing. And then when Trump, it looks like they did cheat in 2020.
Oh, they did.
It looks like they did.
No, with my son's vote, they cheated. I can attest.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah.
And no, but I can attest to that. I have the bloody documents.
Yeah. And then the cherry on top is if Trump wins, they'll go to court and say, oh, yeah, definitely did win. So the only people doing the election denying in the last 25 years seems to be the Democrats. And the only thing that will prove my theory wrong is I disagree with you because I think they'll just cheat. I told you this. Trump's got every advantage. On paper, he can't lose because 2020 was close and he didn't have any social media.
I don't think it was close. I think he won by quite some, but the cheating was close. Made it look like it was close because they.
Yeah, so the popular vote's irrelevant. He won by about 6 million popular votes, but it's irrelevant in America. What really matters is those votes in the swing states.
Yeah.
But he only won the swing states by a few 100,000 votes.
But how many swing states does he need to get?
Well, it's the big six, isn't it? Pennsylvania's the jewel in the crown with the swing states, and then it's like Wisconsin, Michigan, Florida's still classed as
They're
as a
giving
swing state.
Michigan to Kamala. I'm surprised.
Yeah, well, I mean, it still hasn't happened yet. You're just talking about the early voting. There's been like 70 million early votes, so you've got a good number, but you're still going to get twice that. You're going to get the same number again on election day.
What was that thing that happened in Pennsylvania that the Supreme Court decided blew something that they accepted that they can count
they definitely cheated
without any address, without anything, without verification.
There's loads of dodgy stuff. Have you seen the thing where they're not allowed to take RFK off the ballot? I seen the thing yesterday.
Oh yeah, where was this? And he issued a statement.
RFK doesn't want to be on the ballot anymore. And he's gone, take me off the ballot. And they go, nah, not doing that. Because they think it'll help Biden, because some people might vote for RFK still, who, if not for him, would have been voting for Trump. So they think it's going to help Biden.
Hasn't he issued a statement saying, don't vote for me, if you're going to vote for me, vote for Trump?
Yeah, but what if you don't see it? He shouldn't be on the ballot. Because think about it. They've said...
Machines. Did you see some machines that were clicking Trump, and the machines...
Yeah, it was giving it to Kennedy. Yeah.
No, to Kamala, you have Trump, Kamala, and if you click Trump, it wouldn't go. But if you click Kamala, it would immediately pop up. There was a guy filming it.
And if you click on RFK, it goes to Kamala. And RFK said, I don't want to be on the ballot. And they've said, no, you have to be, because it's going to help Kamala. And I was like, here's how absurd that is. Here's how ludicrous and absurd that is. What if he was to win? What if like 100 million people went, oh, you know what? I'm going to go with RFK. And he wins. And they go, you're the president now. And he goes, fuck off. I don't want the job. Like, what are you supposed to do? Force him to do it. Like that. Get in the Oval Office.
It's just one state that he's got it like that, right? Not all the states.
The point is, though, it's absurd to force someone to be on the ballot when they've told you they don't want to be on the ballot. So this is just more ways they put the finger on the scales to help Kamala. And the FBI helped Kamala, and the CIA helped Kamala.
I gotta ask about this. This is my theory in regards to Diddy. That it happened a few months prior to the election, that they raided one of his mansions in Florida, took all the videos, and suddenly all these celebrities who weren't really going to come out and endorse Kamala are coming out to endorse Kamala. And it's basically the P. Diddy list.
I agree.
I've said it before. I said it. People laughed at me. I said, what if this was an FBI raid to get stuff on celebrities so they can put pressure on them to endorse Kamala? Because now we have Leonardo DiCaprio talking about the environment, Mr. Private Jets and Mr. Private Yachts, talking about the environment, and suddenly endorsing Harrison Ford and stuff. And like, to me, I believe that they did that in order to blackmail all these really shady celebrities,
Look, I've got some good memes about it. Look. Epstein and Diddy vids, celebrities endorsing Kamala. That's like Tom Jones with a gun in his back.
No, really, I thought so, because, and I'm not the only one. I think that's because this is the FBI, and the FBI has gone very shady. And the guy who founded the look, especially look at J-Lo, Leonardo, Beyonce,
look at that one
for Jay-Z.
Diddy's ex-girlfriend urges Americans to trust her judgment. That's great, isn't it? Rubber face. Look at the state of her. Rubber face, rubber lips, rubber tits. She's probably got a balsa wood minge. It's unbelievable. People listen to these people. Intellectually
people are going to listen, though. People have turned off Eminem. I don't know what they have on Eminem. Well, Eminem apparently was at a party where Diddy was there with a 13-year-old girl.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they're all degenerates. But isn't it funny that they're coming out endorsing her? I believe that they're being coerced into do that because they have no choice. I mean, Beyonce barely stood there for like a couple of minutes, said a couple of sentences, and went. Jay-Z hasn't come out. Big Mike came out. And then we have Obama shaming black men into if you and did you see Ricky Gervais, what he did, which really brilliant.
What did Ricky Gervais do?
Go, you're on Twitter. Go to Ricky Gervais there. You're on Twitter. Go.
One there I'm showing you is another one, though, what they're lying about. Did you see they're all lying about Trump saying?
What did they say?
They said that Trump threatened Liz Cheney with a firing squad. Right. And it was just a blatant, brazen lie. Because obviously, if you watch 10 seconds either side of the clip that they clipped, he's saying She's such a war hawk. She loves sending everybody else's kids to war, but I'd like to see her staring down the barrel of a gun. That was obviously what he said. And they just go straight on the TV. And this is what I was saying about him being, the lies now are at the level that I've never seen anything like it, because
Go below. He posted. Go below. He posted. He's in the bathtub as usual.
he's always in the bath, isn't he, Ricky?
Yeah, but he's talking about no, that's not it. He's in a bathtub, and he's like, he was so funny. He was so funny because I think I have it. I can't. Let me see, because I have it here in my thingy. I think I have it.
Oh yeah, is it that one? Is it that one?
Let me see. That's one. Yeah. Play.
Let's play it.
Hi guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, it's like a hate crime. It makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country. And you don't want that.
It's just
Hi guys,
It makes it sound like it's a hate crime.
Well,
yeah. No, it's funny, isn't it? It's a funny. This is what I'm saying.
Your boss,
it's a great time to be alive.
Your boss. They're trying to persecute your boss for being an illegal immigrant, Elon Musk. They won't go after Harry, but they will go after Elon Musk. They're saying that he overstayed in the U.S. and blah blah blah.
Lunacy. This is what I'm saying. They are mentally ill, and this is why I'm telling you, and I've told everyone who will listen, it doesn't matter whether you're left wing, right wing, centre left, centre right, anything. You're supposed to be voting for anything that isn't woke at this point. Old liberals, people like Bernie Sanders, should be voting for Trump. Honestly, because he's just an old bloody socialist. Woke is like this really authoritarian, tyrannical mental illness where they can't see reality as it is, and they're just completely insane. Completely insane. You get like a bloke who's doing, here's a classic example, anyone who happens to follow the religion they all like so much. Doesn't matter if you burn a woman's face off with acid, doesn't matter if you get arrested for grooming thousands of children, doesn't matter what they do, they'll stick up for them because they look a certain way. They'll stick up for them. But then if I do something like slap a bartender's ass while I'm drunk, we'll go, fucking hell, kill him, lock him up for life. They're crazy. And everyone who's normal.
Paul Pelosi.
Yeah, Paul Pelosi, prison for the rest of your life. Yeah, you get into a lover's tip. He's going to do more time in jail than any mass murderer in the last 20 years. If you kill 50 people, they'll let you out eventually, but they won't let Paul Pelosi's boyfriend out. The world's gone fucking crazy. And that's what I'm saying. They'll melt a woman's face off with some acid. And they won't go, oh yeah, but you know, white people do it. I was like, first of all, they don't. Secondly, what's that got to do with anything? What aboutism? They are genuinely mentally ill. And the cherry on top of that one, the Mental Illness Sunday, is trying to deport the richest man in the entire world. Like, every single country on planet Earth would want Elon Musk living in it. He personally pays $30 billion a year in income tax. Every country in the world wants him, but the woke go, get rid of him. All the illegal aliens who've come over here, Kate Stanley's murderer, all these illegal pieces of shit, rapists, murderers, killers, terrorists, they're not talking about deporting them. They're sitting here going, you know that bloke who paid 40 billion in income tax last year? Yeah, the real life Tony Stark. Yeah, the guy who invents engines and engineering miracles and rockets and cars. We need to deport him. Why aren't they talking about deporting the child traffickers and the rapists and the pedos and the murderers? These people are deranged. I don't have any other word for it. Completely fucking mental. So I don't care. I'm convinced even if I was a socialist, I'd be voting for Trump. I'd be like that. I'd be staggering into the polling booth like under gunpowder on shaky legs, pressing the Trump button, because whatever anyone woke says, do the exact opposite. There's an easy rule for life. If someone woke says something, do the opposite. Don't care what you're talking about. Healthcare, politics, economics, anything. If they tell you to do something, do the fucking opposite. It's easy, isn't it? They're mentally ill. There's no other word.
Do you think that Diddy is gonna make it to the trial? Because he seems pretty sure of himself.
I mean, it's impossible to win, isn't it? Because if the last 5 years has taught me anything, it's that everything's corrupt and up is down and left is right when these people are involved. So who knows? Who knows? If there was
If you were a
justice,
betting man, somebody tells you, put a bet now. What would you bet?
I'd bet that he'll go down for it purely because
No.
he's
Will
not
he make
old
it to
money.
trial? Will he make it to trial?
Oh, yeah, he'll make it a trial. I think.
Okay.
A trial. I think he'll have enough minders.
People are
I think
saying
he'll have enough makers. He'll have enough minders to make it a trial, won't he? And then I reckon they will stitch him up because he's not old money. It's the old money that's corrupt, isn't it? Young money, new money, like Diddy's got. They don't treat him as.
The guy from Abercrombie, Fitch, the guy that white guy.
Oh yeah, that rubber faced. He makes Jeffrey Marsh look normal, doesn't he? That guy, he's got proper
and he's
rubber eyebrows.
Smoking all the way. Why do you think they let him out and not Diddy? Because he's accused of pretty much the same things and internationally.
You know what that'll be though? That'll be male privilege because when I say male privilege, I do of course mean female privilege. Because men don't get treated the same. When a man gets sexually assaulted, no one really cares, do they? It's only blokes complaining about him rogering them.
But according to things that he was blowing males, it wasn't really that many females.
Really? No. I thought it was 50-50 with Diddy. I thought Diddy was doing anything. With
mostly men, like Justin Bieber. I mean, everybody was mostly men.
Imagine if you're at a party when you walk up, Diddy was sucking you off. I'd be like, didn't see that coming.
But this guy Abercrombie wasn't only men; it was also females because remember they were their own Victoria's Secret. So apparently, also females were being, traveled unwillingly.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? It's mental. As I said though, at least it's a fun time to be alive. You've always got plenty of content, haven't you? Never in a million years did I ever dream I could make a video about a bloke waking up with his cock in Diddy's mouth. Never saw that coming in a million years.
Isn't that insane, though? Isn't that insane? And you know what I think, and maybe you disagree with this, but I think Diddy's a nobody. I think that we should be going after they're serving him up because they don't want to go after the people. I was watching Sean Atwood, and he had this man who's like a former, like, police or whatever, and he said, like, oh, believe you me, the FBI is going to be going through all the tapes to make sure that the wrong face doesn't pop up, which means somebody really important like Oprah, like Obama, like Clinton, like, or somebody like Congress. And I'm like, wait a minute, because they have, and I'm like, wait a minute, so they're basically withholding evidence.
Yeah. You've just got to laugh and see what happens, can't you? Because you can't really know what's going on behind the scenes. You've just got to trust your gut and try and figure out where the money's coming from.
What is that? I've started, so I'll finish. What's that?
That was me responding to someone taking the piss out of me in my chat who said Bootneck had let Diddy finish him off. It's because that's a quote off Mastermind. Mastermind is a British comedy quiz show, and it was a quote by the guy who was famous. I can't remember his name now, but if you started a question and the buzzer went beep, he'd go, "I've started, so I'll finish." I was like, "Yeah, okay." I'd have to say that if Diddy was notching me off. I've started, so I'll finish.
But can you imagine? We're closing. I mean, it's gonna. How many days until the elections?
Like 4, right? I think it's on the 5th.
Is it 5th? No, it's like 2 days.
2 days.
Tuesday is the last day of voting.
Yeah. Well, as I said,
how long does it take to count the votes? Why can't they count that immediately?
The Americans' elections aren't secure, so it takes them ages to count the votes. And they do it so Democrat activists can drop off bin liners full of ballots. That's why they do it. This is what I'm telling you. So we can finish by summing up what we feel about the election. You think Trump's going to win quite easily. I think Trump does have every advantage. And you know me, I'm mega into politics, so I've been watching all this stuff. He's got a massive advantage compared to last time, right? First of all, he was usually losing every swing state in all of the early voting because way more Trump voters don't trust the system, so they'll go and do it in person on polling day. So it's normal for all those swing states to have like a massive lead, hundreds of thousands of votes on polling day, and then the Republicans can still take the day because so many more Republicans like to vote in person on the day. And this time around, Trump's winning in basically every swing state, even on the postal vote. So he's got an enormous advantage there. He didn't have any social media because they'd banned him from it all, right? So he's got that. He's now got his X platform. He's got Musk on his side.
And he has the owner of, let me just say something to the chat. Even if you don't want to vote for Trump, you should vote for his team. Got RF Kennedy into the environment. Yeah. He's going to have like great people behind him.
Left-wing liberal people who know the meaning of the word liberal. RFK
I don't think it should be left-wing. I think we should call them liberal people. Like, you know what I think it is? You have turned out to be a Republican, not because you're actually a Republican, but because you're in the center. And if you're center and rational thinking, you're a Republican.
You can't be woke. Yeah, but now you're a Republican by default. Have you heard the theory? There's a good theory. You love conspiracies. They reckon AOC's pregnant. She's got that sort of glow about her and she's put a bit of weight on. Have you seen?
Who?
They reckon AOC's pregnant. AOC. Chomper.
I haven't seen her.
Yeah, they reckon she's pregnant, but she can't announce it because all the supporters will go, abort it. Like they're obsessed with abortions, aren't they?
Yes.
So if AOC, so she can't even come out and admit she's pregnant because if she goes, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant, they'll be like, kill it with a brick. Kill it with a brick. Get rid of it. Get the Dyson out in the middle of it. They'll go to Kamala Harris rally and then she'll part her legs on stage and someone will come out with a Dyson.
That's so terrible.
Yeah, they'll vacuum a minge on stage at a Kamala rally.
You know what? We should come and we should do a live. I don't know if you're going to be working, but some places are not going to be working. Well, for waiting for the results, that should be good just so we can see who wins. I think Trump is going to win. And I believe that the Democrats are going to make his life the first 2 years, take him through court and Supreme Court to stop him from actually, they're not going to accept the results, which is going to make them look hypocritical. And I think there's going to be a lot of upheaval in the U.S., to tell you the truth.
Well, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I think the same thing as last time's going to happen. I'm going to go to bed and Trump's going to be winning very easily. And then when I wake up, he's going to have lost because they're going to have dropped off 5 million votes. I swear to God,
Pennsylvania, he was leading by almost 1 million votes in Pennsylvania. I remember that very well. And I'm like,
they cheated.
And I'm like, he even went like laughing. He even, everybody thought that he had won because when you win by so much. So this is why I said to you, they cheated to the point. They only managed to get so many votes in like that, because I remember he went to bed and he's like, I remember he was congratulating people, thanking people. And I'm like, wow, he got Pennsylvania. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
And then the next day he's down. I'm like, how did this happen? And then my son was probably one of them votes because he was thanked for voting in Pennsylvania when my son voted in Colorado,
Yeah, no, they're going to cheat. So we'll agree to disagree. You think he's going to win because he's going to get more votes. I think he's going to lose, but he's going to get more votes. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting.
Well, thank you. We're going to get going because I have to do a live in Spanish and on a Spanish channel. Did you see what happened in Valencia? That's horrible.
What was that?
The Hurricane Dana and the
mayor.
The mayor did, and then the mayor didn't warn the citizens, so they didn't evacuate or anything. And there's thousands of them dead and stuff. And then that stupid King Felipe walks the streets and he gets mud thrown on him and yell. They had to evacuate the king because he showed up 2 days later and there's people dying. He showed up empty-handed. He should have shown up with buses and stuff like that, all kinds of things, And instead he shows up empty-handed. I know it's not his fault. It was the mayor of Valencia who didn't warn its people.
Yeah.
But he still, I just think sometimes, I'm getting to the feeling that monarchies are not good.
No, it doesn't look like it, does it?
And I hate it because I know you were a monarchist and now you're not anymore. And I'm being pushed that way. And I hate it. I hate becoming so cynical, I like to keep my romanticism and stuff like that. But looking harder, I am telling you that I feel like my love for the monarchy died with the Queen at this point in time. I'm feeling very disappointed sometimes.
Yeah, welcome to the party. Just be a miserable twat like me. It's all right. Come on in, the water's lovely.
No, but I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward. Hope we can do a live to see who wins and stuff with Trump. I really do believe that it's gonna be a rough ride if he wins, though. Unless he wins both houses, he's gonna have trouble, because even if he wins the presidency, but he doesn't win both houses, they're gonna give him a hard time.
On paper, he'll win very comfortably, but I don't think they'll let it happen. So we'll see. And I can't do a live stream election night because I work nights. So no, it's not happening, unfortunately. But we can get together next weekend or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. But thank you, Matt. Thank you, guys. Thank you so very much, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Paula. Good luck with everything. See ya.
Bye. So cute.